conversation. Let's start.
What I'm looking here is that
yeah.
Well, to debate the issue and to understand how to address the issue, I think we need to have good data that we all agree on. I think.
Okay, let's start with that. Let's try to agree on some things here. Let me start from square one with you, Patrick. Okay? Do we agree? Do we agree? Hold on. Do we agree? There's way too much gun violence in this country. Can we agree on that?
I don't know what gun violence is.
Okay, how can I have a conversation with you if you're not willing to agree with me that too many innocent people are dying at the hands of gun violence?
I'll give you my solution. All right.
Oh wait, but hold on. Before I hear your solution, I need to hear it from you. You're telling me you can't agree with me that there's too many people dying from gun violence in this country? You can't even admit that? As far as I'm concerned, I don't agree with the premise of the question, the idea that guns are violence. I think it means when somebody dies, when somebody is murdered and dies at the hands of a gun. That's what gun violence is. You can't...
Okay, so let's get back to the stats so we can agree on some of this. There's been years, 2018, more people died from knives than rifles. You're talking about banning rifles.
Nobody's talking about banning that. We're talking about gun violence in general, not just one specific gun. We have more gun violence.
Why can't we talk about knife violence if knives kill more people than rifles?
When was the last time over 60 people died from a mass knife killing? Can you give me that one, sir?
Hold on. It has happened in China with
let's be clear. We're talking about the United States of America. We're not talking about gun violence in China.
I thought we were going to try to agree on some stuff here, man. You're just trying to play gotcha.
You're saying things that are not factually accurate. We are talking about the United States of America, not China. That's number one. Number two, can you tell me, since you want to bring up knives, which is absurd, when was the last time somebody went into a school with a knife and murdered a dozen kids? Has that happened in this country? Okay,
I'm
answer's
Googling this for you.
Yeah, you're Googling it because you don't know the answer, but I do. The answer's no.
No, I'm talking about knives killing more than rifles.
Okay.
I'm trying to get some.
You're not answering my question, okay? The bottom line here is, you look up and you compare people that have died from knives compared to guns. It's not even close, sir. That's a ridiculous analogy that you're making, and I find it frustrating.
That's an FBI stat. That's an FBI stat.
So more people have died from knives than guns. Okay, so what's the FBI stat that says more?
Hey,
no. Answer this. Apparently, you know. More people have died. This isn't funny, sir. We're talking about people that innocent Americans that have died. I don't know why you're laughing. Give me the year that more people have died from knives than guns in this country. What year is that, sir?
No, that's not what I said.
Oh, okay. Then don't bring it up. Then don't bring it up because we're talking about gun violence, not knife violence.
What I said. I'm explaining what I said. Knives have killed more people than rifles.
Okay, guess what? We are not just talking
rifles.
We are not just talking about rifles. I keep saying the word gun violence. Notice how there's not any specific gun tagged along to that. Let's get back to actual guns.
Assault rifles.
Okay, let's get back to actual guns because I only got a couple more minutes here. We're not talking about knives. Nobody's going to ban knives, and knives aren't causing mass killings in this country. And by the way, we're also not talking about China. I find it amazing that I want to try to get some common ground with you, and I ask you a question that I believe 99% of people would answer immediately, Republican, Democrat, gun lover or not. When I say, do you agree with me that there are way too many deaths in this country at the hands of guns that are being used? And I am amazed that you won't even answer that. Okay, gun violence means someone using a gun and killing somebody, and I'm not talking about self-defense. I'm talking about murder. And I ask you, do you agree, are there too many deaths at the hands of gun violence? And you won't even answer that basic question, then how can I have a conversation with you?
I don't agree with the premise of the question that guns create violence or cause violence. Okay, so this is my solution. If you want to hear my solution, Brian, I think we should round up all the violent guns and put them on trial and hold them accountable and put them away for life. All the violent guns, let's prosecute them. Put them away.
What do you mean all the violent guns? You can't prosecute a gun. What are you talking about?
That's brilliant, Brian.
What are you talking about?
A gun
idiotic
just
statement.
Can't arbitrarily. You don't get the relation there. Guns can't be put on trial.
Okay, so what's your solution? That's not a solution. Okay, so I'll ask you again. I asked you 5 times yesterday. That's not a solution either. So now I'll ask you
I don't
one
agree
more
with
time.
the premise of the question.
Okay. Here's
Boom.
what would you do to end all the gun violence in this country? What do you think? What do you propose? Or would you do absolutely nothing? I'm only going to ask you one time.
I don't agree with the premise of the question.
You don't have any solutions. You don't think we should do anything. Is that what you're saying?
To gun violence. There is no such thing as gun
All right.
violence.
I appreciate the call, Patrick. Thank you very much. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. There is something called gun violence. It means a criminal uses a gun to kill somebody or multiple people. Gun violence occurred at the North Carolina campus yesterday. That was gun violence, where a deranged individual decided to kill his professor. That's gun violence. On October 1, we had over 60 people that died at the hands of a madman who used a bunch of AR-15s to kill people. That is the definition of gun violence. It's violence, not used with a fist or a knife. It's with a gun. That is the definition of gun violence. And the fact that you won't even admit that there's way too many innocent people dying in this country at the hands of people with guns, it's very difficult, Sir Patrick, to have a conversation.